Good morning, everyone. It's Betty Ray, channel for Archangel Raphael. And I'm here again to do the fourth day on 30 Days to Happiness. I hope you've joined us and are telling others about it because Raphael has given us this wonderful idea of how to live happily every day, how to make a choice to be happy, because it is our free will. We can choose how we react to the world. We can choose how we react to one another. And if people do stupid things and you get all upset and angry, you're the one that is going to have to reap the benefits of that anger. And sometimes it'll give you a stomach ache or a headache. And that's not choosing to be happy. So by letting people be who they are and knowing that God loves them exactly as they are, let's try these 30 days to learn the tricks and the ideas of how to be happy. And so we're on day 4. And here's the little booklet that Raphael had me put together. It's called 30 Days to Happiness. And day 4 says, I'm going to put it up here close so you can see it. I will listen more and talk less. This day I will not speak of myself to another. Rather, I will listen to others, excuse me, ask questions of them, of their families, of their jobs or careers, of their hopes and dreams. I will not turn the conversation back to myself, but in my heart, I will process all I hear and I will learn from others. Now, that's the wisdom of an archangel. And so we are suggesting today that you spend the day listening. If there's no one around, like me, I don't have anybody to talk to. If there's no one around, I'm going to listen to nature. I happen to be in a lovely place where there's woods around me and nature everywhere, and I can listen to nature. And I can also listen to my own thoughts. And that's one of the things that I've learned in my many years on the planet of how to listen inward and to be inspired by the ideas that are given by an archangel. I've been very blessed in this way. And I share it with you because that's part of my job as a retired teacher. You know, they say teachers don't die, they just keep right on teaching. So it's true. When I have this wisdom that comes through an archangel and it fills me up with such joy, I can't help but share it. And I don't yet like to be a preacher on a soapbox. That's not me either. Many, many people from all across the world call me and ask for a reading with Raphael. And I'm inviting you to do that as well. You can get my email address. Please write it down. We're going to give you this one. Angelbettyray at gmail.com. ANGELBETTYRAE at gmail.com. And you can schedule a reading. And because I am now in a time of my life where I have had so much blessings poured upon me that I am giving back. And so I do not charge for readings anymore. They are a gift, and they are a gift from me to you for you to be a happier person. Anyone who gets a reading from the Archangel Raphael is lifted up and they can feel joy, no matter what state of mind you might be in at the time when you come to get a reading. Oh, when I say come, nobody's coming to my house anymore. You have to call me after I give you my phone number, and I don't do that till you've given me your email address, and then we schedule an appointment. So I do readings from people all across the world, and it has been my joy because that's what happens with the reading. Your soul is shown to me as a giant being of light, and that color of your soul tells me about your purpose in life and how you see life. And that in itself helps you to understand why things happen the way they do. And so please don't hesitate to email me at angelbettyray at gmail.com. And we will be happy to schedule a time with you. So today, day 4, I will listen more and talk less. Now, if you get a chance, call somebody to practice this and ask them, how are you doing? And what special things are you doing during this pandemic? How are you managing? And then really listen to what they say. And if they say something that needs clarification, ask them for that. Tell me more. How are you feeling about that? Showing that you are really, really listening. And so rather than saying, oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, that's exactly the way I'm feeling, don't shift it back to yourself. It's not about you today, it's about others. It's about you learning to listen to others. And for some people, I'm afraid they never will learn this. I know a friend of mine got so upset when her niece was dating a guy that never stopped talking. When he was in the group, he was probably nervous because it's the first time he met her family, but he never stopped talking. No matter what anybody said, he jumped right in and took over the conversation. Do you know how boring that is? Do you know what a bore you are if you do that? So don't do it anymore. Be a listener. And for this day, practice being a listener. So call somebody that's a friend and say, how are you doing? Is there anything special going on today? What are you doing today? And don't start lecturing them if they are one of the ones wearing a mask. Don't start because that's you talking. And so today you're going to practice listening. That's day 4 of 30 Days to Happiness. Do you know you really can get happy when you care about other people, when you have compassion for other people, when you listen to other people? And so here we are. This day, I will not speak of myself to another. Rather, I will listen to them, ask them questions of their families, of their jobs or careers, of their hopes and dreams. I will not turn the conversation back on myself, but in my heart, I will process all I hear and I will learn from others. I will learn from others. And that is what brings joy to your heart. When you can be in a state of joy, my dear friends, you can be a co creator with God, and anything you can imagine, you can create. But the emotional barometer within yourself cannot be filled with doubt or anger or frustration or any of the negative emotion because that drags your energy down to the point where you are tired and you just don't have energy to do anything. But if you can take a moment and take a long, deep abdominal breath down to your gut, keeping your shoulders relaxed, we've said this time and again, keeping your shoulders relaxed, then you will begin to feel energy surge through you and you will begin to make healing if you have an illness or discomfort from, as some people I know my age will break a hip, and that is something that can be very, very painful. And at times, it is what our life is, pain. And how does one be happy about pain? You don't have to be happy about it. You can be happy in it. And there's a big difference. You don't have to curse God for having this kind of pain coming on to you because God had nothing to do with it. God gives you the energy and the free will, the choice to choose how you're going to react to the choices you made, the consequences of the choices you made. And that is what we are talking about in these 30 days to happiness. Yes, accept responsibility for your choices, but don't beat yourself up about them. Because think about it. Back when you made a choice to do whatever that you now regret, you didn't have as much information as you have now. So you can't judge that moment back then with this moment now when you are a wiser person. So don't beat yourself up. You and me on this planet, all sentient beings, are learning every moment that they breathe on the planet. You're learning new ideas. You're learning new points of view when you listen to other people. Every time you watch the news, You're learning more about your government. You're learning more about the epidemic. You're learning more about all the things that are going on in the world. And you can choose to be happy about them or unhappy or just neutral. Sometimes you don't have to be happy or unhappy. You can just listen and know that's what's going on. But there are other things that you can be unhappy about. And you have a right to choose that. But if it's nothing you can do about it, if there's nothing you can do about it, you can send loving energy to the people who are involved in that particular experience and ask the angels to lift them up and help them to see the wisdom and the knowledge they've gained from that experience. And even those who are baby souls, and we've talked about this in the past, they just don't know enough to be able to make good decisions. That doesn't mean you excuse them. If you're a parent, you know it's your job to teach your children from right from wrong. And sometimes you have to punish them when they choose something that is not good for them, either health wise or emotionally wise or honestly wise, and you have to punish them. Now, my punishment was sending them to their rooms or making them just sit in a chair for a certain amount of time and contemplate what they had done. Now, I had three sons and a daughter, so I had four kids. And plus, being a teacher of hundreds of children because I taught music, I would have a schedule load of 200 children a week that I would see. So, believe me, I have a lot of experience in that area. And yet, each of them were delightful souls that were expressing themselves in their own way. And to see a smile on a child's face, to see them light up when you walk into their school as it used to be, they would all yell and come running and give me a hug because they loved what I did. I brought music to them in the beginning. And then later on, when I got burned out from music, I did teach language arts, which was eighth grade English. How boring can it get? And I've talked before about how God inspired me to teach them why they needed grammar. And that ended up being the job search game, which was published. And so this is something that happens when you solve a problem. Sometimes it's so unique that you can share it with many people and make a profit from it. Although publishing, you don't make that much money. So I'll tell you up front. But it's still such a joy to see your idea manifested in a book or even a textbook like this was for teachers to teach kids why they need to study grammar. If they want to get a job, they got to be able to communicate with the written language. And that's why one of my best friends is a teacher of English as a second language, because there are many people in the country who are learning English when another language is their first language. And so by having compassionate teachers like my friend, they love being in America and they love being an American. Someone said something that you can go to Germany, but you can never become a German. You can go to other countries and you can never become a native. They don't expect that. But you come to the United States and you become an American. And that is such a privilege that I don't understand why anyone would deny what our Statue of Liberty says. We welcome the poor, we welcome the downtrodden, we welcome those who are escaping from tyranny, and yet many are in cages yet. And that is sad. And yet, when we teach you Days to Happiness, when you look at that, know that their trials will be over soon. They have, as a soul, chosen this experience, not as a human being. We don't choose suffering and discomfort, but our souls sometimes do for their greater understanding and growth. And that, again, is something that's hard to understand because you say, well, I never would have chosen that experience. No, you, as the sentient being, would never choose anything that made you uncomfortable or sad or angry. But as a soul, you are gaining knowledge about being a sentient being on planet Earth. And it is your job now to learn from the choices that you make and then to choose happiness. And that's what Raphael and I are here to do today, to teach you that listening is an art form. Being a good, compassionate, understanding person is such a gift to others. So when you learn to really listen to what they have to say and to ask them questions, would you explain that further? I don't quite understand. If you say that to them, they're more than happy to explain it further. And in so doing, they will sometimes look off into the distance and go, "Oh, I never thought of it that way before. Thank you for asking." And that is the way it works. So today, of day 4, I will listen more and talk less. I will listen. And if you're like me, you're kind of caged up in your house. And when you do go out, you wear a mask and you only go out and do what you have to do and go back home again. To call somebody on the phone, or sometimes you can go on the computer and you can have a face-to-face conversation with people. I think it's wonderful what this is technology has offered now. So you can actually leave the mask off and you can smile and they can see your eyes twinkle and they can see that smile. And so think about someone else today and give your attention to listening to what they have to say. And that is day 4 of 30 Days to Happiness. All of these experiences that we have been giving you for these 4 days so far are going to continue through 30 days. That's going to take quite a bit from me. And actually, I went to the used clothing store. I shouldn't tell this, but I went to the used clothing store and I picked up 24 blouses because I want to have something different every day. And so we are thinking about how we look and how we are presented. And at the same time, we are always so full of joy to have you with us. Please subscribe to our channel, tell people about it, and let Raphael lift up your spirits in this time of the pandemic. Lift up your spirits and get rid of the fear for those you love. Let Raphael and me help you to be happy. And that's it for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.